Thank you so much all for being here. Before we get started, I'm going to ask you all a quick favor. So I hope most of you have a mobile phone, right? You're good? Everybody has one? Good. There's a Channel Partners app. If you can open up the app, and if you can go in there and go to the More section there, you'll go on the mobile app, click on More, click on Polling, and select this session. In about 15 minutes, this is going to be important because I am the guinea pig for polling you on a question. So we're going to try that together and we're going to see how we do. So again, go in the mobile app, go to More, go to Polling, and select this session. This is how to double your business. So listen, I want to get started. So hello to everybody out here in Vegas. I love this event. It's my favorite one of the year, and I'm super honored to be the Influencer of the Year. Somebody asked me last night, how do you win the Influencer of the Year? And I told them I have actually no idea how I won, so it's kind of fun, and hopefully somebody will tell me later, and I think we'll get over that. So, and I'm actually thrilled because let's face it, 2019 is a year of massive change. It's a massive new normal world, and this year, I think we can take it a step further and have a frank and honest talk about can you really double your value in 2019? Now, am I talking about selling your business? Am I talking about getting investment for your business? Am I talking about just having more profit in your business? Yes, yes, and yes. Here's the frank reality, and Art talked about it. The channel is aging out. In fact, most of the studies I've seen opine that about 70% of the people sitting in this room will opt out of the channel in less than 7 years. And I think all of us want to do that with as much money as possible. I actually gave a keynote panel last night, and somebody asked me why I worked so hard and pushed so hard in my career, and I said, for the money. I know it's not a nice answer, but it's the answer. We largely do this business for the money. And so this year, more than ever before, as I went into my own firm and started working with people, here's what I've seen. Some people get double the money that other people get. And there's some specific reasons for that. And they get double the money whether they're selling their business, whether they're going for investment, or whether they're just trying to pull profit out of their business. So I'm here to talk about you being worth more. Now look, if you don't own your own business, working for a vendor, you're working for a big corporation, all of these will apply to you as well. So let's get started. We are in a world of unprecedented technology. Yesterday, my husband calls me up. He had an accident, right? Heart-stopping minute. I'm in Las Vegas. He's in Florida. He had an accident. An accident that left him thankfully fine, but the person in the other car flipped their car. They were at fault, flipped their car, and was on their way to the hospital, non-responsive. And all of that could have been solved by a simple technology from a company called GMA. GMA, Global Mobile Alert, actually has the ability to tell you when you're on a call. By the way, the person was on a call, not paying attention when they ran the light. And this mobile alert has the ability to give you an audible that says, hey, you're coming up on a light. We've all done it. The technology's there. In this time of unprecedented technology, there is an answer for everything. In fact, AI is becoming that answer. 80% of enterprises investing in AI. $3.6 billion last year spent in venture capitals alone in the area of AI. And I know the channel. When there's big money at play, the channel's gonna be there. So I'm gonna talk about a really real example of this. Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? I think the robots don't want me to tell. Okay. So pin drop. How many of you do UCaaS, call centers, contact centers, something in the voice arena? Okay, good. Pin drop. Here's the story. A couple days ago, one of my friends got a phone call from a work associate. Work associate asked him for some specific information. Now, it sounded like the guy. The phone number was his cell phone number, but it was an odd question that he asked. It didn't sound quite right. And he ended up giving him, he said, hey, do me a favor, could you just read me what's on this? He read it to him. He hung up. He called his friend back, his work friend, saying, that was weird that you called me for that. And he said, what are you talking about? I didn't call you. I didn't call you at all. It was voice phishing. It was someone mimicking his friend, had done enough social engineering. By the way, pro tip, stop answering the quizzes on Facebook because they give people answers on how to pretend to be you. Also, if you get a phone call and if there's no one there and you say hello, or you say, this is Janet Schijns, which is how I answer my phone, and I don't do that anymore. If I say, well, every time I answer my business phone, this is Janet Schijns, and there's no one there and they hang up, when they voice fish for me, guess what they play? Hi, this is Janet Schijns. They are recording you everywhere, and now they're voice phishing. Email phishing isn't working as well. So enter this little company with an artificial intelligence solution called Pindrop. Pindrop has a way to realize when someone is using voice to try to commit fraud, whether it's a bank account, whether it's your life, whether it's the current scam is your kid calls you from college and claims they need money. They raised $223 million in their first round out there. So if you're in the contact center and call center space and you're not in the AI space for voice, that's probably a mistake. Or how about IoT? I've heard people talk about IoT. I see the percentage of sales in IoT. There's a company called Longview. What does Longview do? It's packaged IoT that you can make a commission selling. It's actually all packaged up, all ready for you with the security, the cloud, the sensors, the devices. For all the supply chain, you can have an IoT solution. There are solutions out there that hook on to what you sell today that you can find, identify, and use to grow your business. Now, here's another example. Bright Machines raised $229 million in their first round of funding. Why? Because it's a cool name, Bright Machines? No, because they figured out a way to use robotics to be a factory worker. Unemployment in the country is at 3.9%, the lowest last month it's been since 1969. How successful are people getting factory workers? Not very successful. But if you sell to companies that are actually in those spaces where they have unskilled workers, Bright Machines, by the way, Google also has this in their lab, figured out a way to make a human hand better than a human hand that can do precise work on a factory floor. And they raised $229 million. Now, all of these have something in common. And I'm going to keep doing them for a couple more minutes so you guys get the point in a couple of minutes where, but I'm not going to tell you yet. So the next thing is the deskless workforce. How many people have customers that have employees that don't sit at a desk? All of us, right? All of us. And initially we sold mobility. Art talked about LTE. I'll talk about 5G in a minute. But this company, MotoHub, has figured out a way through a mobile app for people to scan checkpoints, use GPS, complete a configurable field report, and have field reports from janitors, et cetera, in the field. Again, another thing that people are selling. So finally, I'm going to do two a little more forward things. So who here hopes their car can drive them soon? Both hands up for me. Okay. Think of the time I could save. So who here is taking an Uber? Good. So in 5 years, the forecast is with autonomous cars, if they work the right way, your Uber driver would be just a car, right? So you're going to get in this empty car. And that your car, maybe in 10 years, would actually be able to drive you anywhere you want. Well, this company, a little farther out, called Enel, is doing highway wind turbines. So they are putting wind turbines in the fast lanes in the highway, and as you drive by them, you generate power. So the forecast is in the next decade that when you go to sleep at night, your autonomous car will actually go charged up from the very power that you got in your solar or wind turbines and take a drive to generate power. So the highway could actually have thousands of cars on it at night, driving at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, generating all the power a city needs. This is the world that we're moving into. This is not science fiction. These are already in Europe. They are already using these on the Autobahn. They are already generating about 11% of the power for several of the largest cities there to actually do this from their current traffic. This is the world that we're in, and this world is going to need an intense amount of data, and it's going to need 5G. In fact, the forecast is 5G has the potential to change the world of the internet forever. We all remember when we used to dial up, because I saw Art's thing, we're like 49. I like that because I'm actually older than that, so if we're on average 49, I'm good. It's awesome. That's the birthday I'll celebrate this year. And so when we first started in the industry, you had dial-up internet, right? You would sit there and you'd get that reassuring tone, that doo-doo-doo. It was awesome. For those of you who are too young to know that, you don't understand the fun of waiting 2 minutes to dial up and hoping that somebody had sent you an email or an instant message. It was fantastic. It was awesome. There's no surprise or suspense anymore. But 5G has the potential to change the world the way the internet did. It has the potential to make nanosecond decisions possible in medicine, in transportation, in manufacturing, in every industry. In the next few years, 5G has the potential to bring the robots to the front of the line, keep them connected, have the data processing, and be able to save and make lives. Now look, it's not going to happen this year, and it's not going to happen next year. It's probably 3 to 5 years out. But all of these things that I've talked about have something in common. But, you know, before I tell you what it is, it's not just technology where people are making money. In fact, if you live in Sydney, Australia, or here in the US, you can rent a chicken. You can actually, you're worried about your food, worried about where it's coming, worried about what it's eating, not to worry anymore. You can buy your chicken organic food. You can rent a chicken. The chicken farmer keeps the chicken for you. Don't worry, it's not like running around your backyard. And your eggs come to you from your chicken. Sticking with the animal theme, how about BarkBuddy? Tinder for puppies. In its second round of funding, was valued at 18x valuation. 18x, by the way. The Rent-A-Chook was at 19x. So you can see what the valuations are here. So BarkBuddy, you actually swipe left or swipe right if you like the puppy or not. And you can select your forever puppy for a simple monthly subscription fee. But wait, there's more. Don't know what to spend that special someone? You can subscribe to Spud Alert, and you can send somebody a potato. My favorite, I clip art here, Paul, you're being evicted. I think it's a nice way to tell Paul, here's your to-go meal, get on out. So what do all these things have in common? Rented chickens, BarkBuddies, wind turbines, machines that do factories. They are an as-a-service model. Every single one of the companies I talked to had at least a 13x valuation. The average reseller, VAR, MSP is nowhere near a 13x valuation because not enough of their business is guaranteed to be business in the coming years. It's down to what you close this year. This is the power of cloud, data, 5G, AI, machines. The power is the ability to turn at least 30% of your revenue into recurrent revenue, because that takes you to a double-digit valuation. Get above 50, and you're looking at more than 13x. That's what all of this proves. But the problem in all of this is that we have to remember that while anything is possible, everything isn't. And so hear my message. The channel is a for-profit business. To the vendors in the room who lament their commission, their margins, their money, their marketing, it's time for a wake-up call. The channel, the masters, the VARs, the ISVs, the agents, you pick your name, are there to make a profit. To the extent that your vendor company says they're costly, I think I should cut costs, they make too much, I think I should take things direct, I don't really care for having them go in my enterprise accounts, I think I could do it without them, you're making a mistake. Because the technology is moving very quickly. To the vendors who don't feel that way and don't have senior executives outside the channel that feel that way, congratulations. You should invest more in your channel as they go through this transformation. But the very first thing every vendor at this event should do is go back and make sure that from the top of their firm, they believe every deal should go channel first. Because that's the world we're in. These technologies will not be sold alone. You will not be relevant as a vendor if you believe that your solution will be sold alone. And therefore, the channel will be, as they have always been, the innovation route to market. So now we're going to take our survey. Remember when I asked you to open the app? Open the app, go to more, go to polling, go to my session. Here's the question. Do you have a partnership today that isn't working? And I'll give you a minute to do that while I talk to you about that. So we did a brief survey at JS Group when I first started it up to ask how many people had a partnership that wasn't working. As we started working with some of our customers, our partners, and our vendors, we found that close to 50% had at least one partnership that they needed to terminate. Why hadn't they terminated it? Nobody had an answer for me. So let's see if you guys have an answer to how many of you have partnerships that aren't working. 88%. So 88% of the people are sitting here in this room today with at least one partnership that doesn't work. To me, that would be my reason for being here. All of us have meetings with that partner. I bet many of us have meetings with the partner that isn't working. This is the time to have that moment. This is the time to say, I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to make my business worth more. You're going to come with me or not. Because going narrow is the new growth. I am working one-on-one with partners and vendors now in my consulting company, and here is what I am telling you. We run a program called Market Action Planning. By the way, you can use your MDF dollars from many of the major vendors. And the program works with partners, agents, VARs, et cetera, to design a path forward to double their business. And some of them do it with a pitch deck because they want to sell, and some of them do it with a business plan and investment strategy. But going narrow is the new growth. 100% of the partners I've worked with have a problem. Lots of solutions and very little differentiation. They sell, they customize, they support, they're the master for, they're the agent for, they're the VAR for, they're the whatever they are for, and you could substitute somebody else's name and it would sound like the exact same thing. So for those of you in the audience that are thinking of selling in the next 7 years, that is not a good way to get a better valuation. How do people fix that? They narrow their focus. The second thing I've noticed is many of them are starting to be impacted by shadow channels. There are 151,000 CPAs in the US. 64,000 of those CPAs now offer technology consulting services of some sort. Some of it is to tell their clients they're spending too much in technology. Some of it is to find them a better way to go to a monthly recurring as a service model. But these shadow channels are springing up everywhere. They also make your business worth less. And vendor programs are in many cases becoming obsolete. The average vendor program in our industry is more than 7 years old. Our industry has changed so much in the last 7 years, and most of these vendor programs are not keeping up. And it's time to tell your vendor partners what benefits and what things you need to get ahead. There needs to be more real education, not training, real education. There needs to be more deal support. There needs to be more marketing and social media support, and it needs to happen now. And finally, there needs to be more business moved to the channel. Because as the solutions become more and more complex, the only person that can solve it is the channel. Now look, we give the vendors a pretty good reason as a channel why they don't want to spend money with us. So I know we get insulted. We hear that at the top of the ivory tower, I've been there, and I'm going to tell you it's true. There's people in the vendor companies that think the channel costs too much money. Can you believe that? That's what they think. They think y'all cost too much money. They don't understand the channel. They give the channel chief, who you love, a bit of a hard time. But they have data. And the data shows that half the money they spend in MDF, co-op and others, is wasted. Trouble is, most of them don't know which half. We did a survey with 360 Insights. Great company, does a huge MDF platform. Record low MDF return on investment last year in digital, email, and telesales requests from partners. In fact, only one vendor had positive ROI from those tactics in their channel program. So we give the vendors as channels a certain reason to sometimes not want to work with us. And so here in my last 5 minutes, I'm going to bring it home with with all of this that's happening, unprecedented technology, the need to move to revenue, more complex solutions, all of the equations changing in your business, and we found out 88% of you having a bad partner. Can you double your business, and will you? So here's what we do the first minute of a market action planning session. We give the person $10 million, not really, because then you'd all want to do it, and we say, do you know what you would do with $10 million if you had it to invest in your business right now? And we get a lot of humana yacht, humana Porsche, humana, I'm kidding. It's generally marketing, sales, more people, and a new location. And so as we've went through and we've done these plans and we've seen the success and we've seen the increases in valuations as people redefine their business model, as I've done this over the years with people, I wanted to share with you the 3 commonalities I see from the folks that double their business. 1, they find a way for their team to become super connectors. It is no longer who you know. It's who knows you. How many people know that you do what you do, that you do it well, and that will come to you? This adds a massive amount of money to your valuation. If your brand is known and is at the top of the area that you're in, This adds a almost double factor to any valuation. It also, by the way, when you're trying to attract good talent, if you don't want to sell your business, it helps as well. Millennials want to know that people know you. They believe they complete our brands. Second, your talent profile has to change, and people, they're going to need to go. It might even be you who needs to go. The second thing we've noticed with people that are improving the valuation of their companies, getting investment dollars, doubling their business, doubling their sales, many of them have brought in professional leaders, and the number one most professional leader that they needed to change out was their sales manager. Sales management was the number one problem that most of these people had. Now, I'm sorry if you're the sales management for your company. Totally apologize, okay? Hopefully I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about everybody had this problem. It's totally not you, okay? It's me, okay? It's totally me, not you. But it's a problem. Sales managers don't have the tools or the ability or the skills to manage in this new world. In a world where a social media connection that you make on LinkedIn or Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat is more valuable than a face-to-face sales visit with a majority of millennials, how do you measure for that in Salesforce.com? Have they really done that work? Do they understand how to manage these salespeople in these new times? Sales management has come up as one of the top areas where a refresh in talent, whether it's through training and a program, or whether it's through bringing someone new in, raises the value of your business within 18 months. Sales management cannot be a neglected career anymore. It cannot be where the person who knows everybody is, because by the way, if we're aging out, so are our customers. So sales management is the second. And then the third, I hinted to at the beginning, and I'm going to close back here, it's all around subscription revenue. Subscription revenue doubles the value of your business when you get to 30% subscription revenue. Where do you get subscription revenue? From services. Everything is a service. Security, managed IT, software. These as-a-service businesses are the ones that are making money. And there's no reason with the recurrent revenue models that the vendors have available that we can't take advantage of that. That truly is where we need to go. The bottom line is to grow, you need to make a new plan. One that is both narrow and bold. One that embraces the best partnerships that you have and terminates the ones that are not good. One that stands up at the table and says, we will have a good partnership or we will have none. And one that makes sure that your business invests in the right talent, in the right businesses, and in being known. I will conclude this by just saying that I love the channel. And I know with this unprecedented, try to say that 5 times quickly. With this cool new technology that's coming out, the channel is going to be the tip of the spear to make this business work. But to make that work, you have to have the right partnerships, you have to narrow your focus, you have to have the right talent, and you have to make sure the market knows you're there. I have complete faith that the huge growth that we're gonna see in 5G and AI and machine learning and security and everything as a service will come from this channel, and I look very forward to working with you as you grow. On behalf of the entire team from the JS Group, we thank you so much, and I appreciate the award.